welcome everybody to Tuesday Night Cigar Club live from Cats Fest 5 in San Antonio. Am I close enough here, Tut? Yeah, I need it. These rocking chairs are kind of... I might naturally just want to sink back. And we are here with Pedro from Drew Estate. He is rocking the Drew Estate booth.
That's right.
Thank you so much for joining us. This is your second or third Cats Fest?
This is my second Cat Fest, man. I have heard crazy stories about this festival. This is the greatest festival in Texas, man. The people that haven't made this one, God damn it, man. Can I?
Yes, you certainly can.
Oh, okay, cool, man. Because sometimes my French comes out, you know, not my Nicaraguan Spanish. You know?
Not an issue with us.
You can parlez-vous all of that.
But sometimes I can't help it, you know. But one thing I can tell you, this is a great festival, man. There is a lot of great people. When it comes to Cat Fest, you know, you got people that come not all over Texas, man. You got people that come from Seattle, California, Florida, New York.
It's nuts.
Connecticut, Illinois, man, you name it. We got 400 people over here rocking, you know. Everything is about sharing the love of the leaf. So for me, this is my second one. Last year was my first one. It was a great one. This year is amazing. Last year was very good. This year, you guys are stepping up, man.
Definitely gets bigger and better every year.
No, I would say you're stepping up because I followed. You've been in Austin for like the last couple of days.
That's
right. Doing events there.
Absolutely,
I mean, you're straight up hustling.
This guy doesn't sleep, man. It seems like you were constantly, whether you're the DE Cigar Safari. It seems like you're all over that. You're here in the States doing promotions and hitting all the shops. Like
that's right.
You're just going nonstop, man.
Well, you know what? I will tell you something, man. I'm very grateful, and I believe in somebody up there. You know. God is absolutely good, man. Without him, I will never made it this far.
Tell us a little bit about your backstory. How you got
my background. I don't know if we got 3 hours.
Well, we'll skip to
our listeners are like only 3 hours.
No, you're joking, man. I'm gonna make this long story short.
How did you find Drew Estate, or how did Drew Estate find you?
Okay, well, first of all, you know, I was born and raised in Esteli, so I come from a humble background. You know, I knew since I was little that Esteli was well known for tobacco. Back in those days, there were not a lot of Americans who were coming to Esteli. It was just a straight up production, ship it to the United States, you know. So at the age of 12, I started to work as a saddle maker. My family, I grew up, you know, with 3 brothers and a single mom. They couldn't afford me to go to school, finish up junior high school. That's what you guys call, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So then what I decided to do, I decided to go and learn how to make saddle for horses. It was a tough living, you know. I dropped out of school for 2 years. Then I realized, like, I didn't want to spend my whole life making saddle for horses, you know. It was a tough living, man. One thing is getting by, another thing is surviving every day. Nobody can teach you that stuff, you know. So I decided to go back to school, still making saddles, you know. The guy that owns the saddle shop, he was kind enough to say, you know, go to school, then you can work in the afternoon, you know, and still cool. Making saddles, you know. So I was like, man, I'm going to take that one for sure. So I was attending to a public high school in Esteli. So my goal was to finish high school and, of course, you know, being a good student. I was not fucking playing jokes, bro. I was working hard in the afternoon, going to school and banging those fucking books. And my goal was to, after I finished my high school, trying to get a opportunity through our scholarship in a local university in Esteli. But God has other plans for me, and as soon as I finish my high school, I don't know if you're familiar with it. There is a Christian organization in Nicaragua. As a matter of fact, it was born here in the United States called Young Life.
No.
Young Life is a...
Oh, Young Life?
Young Life, yes.
Yeah.
You guys know about Young Life?
Yes,
we do.
Goodness.
We had it in our high school.
Yes, we did.
Man, let me tell you something. Young Life, I know that we're talking about tobacco and cigars, but this is going to be advice for the parents.
Hey,
and if the teenagers want to listen to it, that would be nice.
What we do is about whatever comes up, and there's no rules here.
Oh, nice.
And I find, honestly, that's why we kind of wanted to dig in a little bit. When you get to know the guys handing you the cigars and telling you about the cigar, when you get to know a little bit about them, it takes the experience of smoking to a different level.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Young Life.
So yeah, man. So I joined Young Life for 2 years, and then over there they introduced me to a opportunity that really changed my life, and not just my life, but the family back home, my family in Italy. So it was a full scholarship paid by the United States government. The program was used to be known by CASS, CASS. It was a international scholarship found by the United States government for third world countries. So 2003, as soon as I finished my high school, I didn't have no money, nowhere to go. I said, go and make more saddles, So I applied for it a year after that. 300 students around the country, good students around the country, they applied for the scholarship, and a year after that, 2 of them got the opportunity, and I was one of the blessed ones. So God is good, brother.
Awesome.
All day, every day,
Yeah.
So the program sent me to Iowa. I went to Iowa for 2 years. I was living in the Quad Cities. So shout out to Davenport. That's where I was living at. And great people, the Midwest to the core. And so I was living there for 2 years. I came to the Midwest. I went to Iowa for 2 years, and I didn't know the language. So I learned the language over there, and the major that I applied for, it was international commerce. So that was my first time in life that I was going to school and not worry about that I have to work.
Right.
Physical work, I was just studying. The money that the program was giving to me, I was sending most of that money to my family back home in Italy, to take care of the bills, So making the long story short, I graduated with honors, And it was great being here in the United States. When you are from Nicaragua, born and raised, you see the United States from movies, from the music videos, maybe from sport,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I came here, bro, and it was wow, man. This is a whole different lifestyle, man. It is you got everything to your disposal right here. So then the reality was in 2006 that you have to come back to your country. I didn't want to break the rules. Mm-hmm. You gotta play the game right. You gotta follow the rules, So I didn't want to overstay my visa.
Right.
I went back to Nicaragua in August 2006. I was ready to go, man. I was like ready with my resume. I went to every single cigar factory in Esteli looking for a job. I was determined enough not to go back to the saddle shop.
Right.
I don't have nothing wrong with it, but when you come to the United States and you got your education from this beautiful country, there is so much that you want to do, but the opportunities back home are so little,
Yeah.
I was lucky enough that I went to Drew State, and the guys interviewed me over there. The operation manager, his name is Manuel Rubio. He started off as Jonathan's driver, and nowadays he is the vice president of international operations.
Wow.
The guy is absolutely hardworking,
I was about to say, that's working
genius, and that's the cool stuff that Drew State have. If you work hard enough and you got, whatever it takes to make to the next level, you are going to the next level. Another person that interviewed me was Nicolas Melillo, Foundation,
Uh-huh.
Probably you have tried some of his cigar,
We did the
Tabernaculo with Wednesday, shout
cigar.
out to my man. I don't know if he is in Connecticut or maybe he is in Colorado.
He's in Nicaragua, actually.
Oh, he's in Nicaragua. Holy smoke.
I thought he was coming to the festival. I contacted him. We were going to interview him. He's like, no, he's making cigars.
No, Nick is the brother of the leaf when it comes to broadleaf. You know what I mean?
We
so
love
the guy
that.
is
Wednesday.
legit.
It was wonderful.
So yeah, I started working with Nick. The first year I was pretty much the water. Let me ask you a question. You guys do a lot of movie. You guys have to do this one. It's called The Water Boy.
Oh yeah.
I understand.
Very familiar.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So the first year it was me, bro. I was Pedro Coffee, Pedro Ice Cream. Jonathan Drew came back me on this one, right? Pedro Ice Cream. Bro, you name it. Pedro the Liz, Pedro this, Pedro that, bro. I was whatever, bro. They asked me to do, I was doing it because they didn't have a specific function for me.
Right.
Back in 2006, Drew State didn't have the factory that we have nowadays. It was 11 different houses trying to operate as a factory in Esteli, So the first year was a little tough, but when you come from a hard background, you come from the concrete, bro, everything comes easy afterwards,
Yeah.
So then a year after that, they promoted me to be the operation manager assistant. So I started to work very close to Rubio, who is the operational manager. I mean, the vice president of operational international, and then to Nicholas, I start to know Jonathan a little bit. You know, Jonathan was spending a lot of time in Nicaragua. You know, he was pretty much, Jesse Flores. I don't know if you have known Jesse. You probably heard about Jesse. Jesse is the guy that runs the Subculture Studios.
Brilliant for our listeners. Jesse is a brilliant artist. He actually has a art studio, Subculture Studios there.
I think we have a painting up in our studio.
At Drew State. We actually have a Jesse piece framed up in our studio where we do the show.
Damn!
One of our buddies, Rev, went on a safari and got it for us.
Absolutely. We're going to be talking about Cigar Safari. This is just the beginning, man.
That's in our plans
yes.
one day.
So you guys haven't done it, bro?
No, we haven't done it.
I have not done it.
Man, you are missing it out.
I know.
We got
it.
This is
I keep seeing the pictures.
We got to get our shit together.
Bro, forget about the pictures. Forget about the cool videos that we post on YouTube. You gotta do it, man. You love if you are considered the brother of the leaf, so let's take that concept to the next level. You feel me?
That's everything we hear.
So the thing is when it comes to Jesse, man, Jesse is the mastermind. All the crazy stuff that we do in Subculture Studio comes from Jesse, and I think that's one of the stuff that makes Drew stay. We're going to be talking later on about the cigars and the tobacco scene and everything that we do in our cigars, but the image of the company is an urban graphic to the core.
Right.
What Drew Estate represents. Jonathan is from New York, Long Island, so he loves art, and he recognized art in a heartbeat, man. The guy is a genius how to not just make great cigars that a lot of people engage what we do. Because, it's easy to come to this event like this and trying to be the face, but behind the cigar, there are so many unknown faces that makes your moment absolutely unforgettable, man. You feel me? So, Jesse has been around with the company from the very beginning. I think that he was the third employee, He was Jonathan's translator. Then he was Jonathan assistant. So, Jesse is Jesse, man. Nobody can replicate him, man. That guy is the bomb.
What is your role with Cigar Safari?
My role with Cigar Safari used to be the director of Cigar Safari.
Okay.
So I used to be, I used to run the Cigar Safari. The first 3 years, it was Jonathan giving the tours. Marvin Samuel, who is one of the co-founders of Drew Estate, giving the tours. Nicholas Melillo giving the tours, Steve Saka giving the tours as well. So I started to learn from those 4 different characters.
That's a good fourth person to learn from.
Absolutely, man. I was blessed enough. I was the guy working behind the curtains, So I was making sure that breakfast was on time, dinner was on time. And along the tour, I was there. If wherever they need anything, I was there to to provide them.
Right.
Maybe a bottle of water. But to me, I was taking that experience to learn as much as I can. So I was doing the Cigar Safari. I started off in 2008. That's when they promoted me to be the director of Cigar Safari. So October 20, 2008, the plan. I'm gonna breaking down all the stuff that you haven't listened to, right? Stuff that you haven't heard. So 2008, the goal was to bring 10 groups. All of them were retailers. But we could not afford it because the financial crisis was going down to hill.
Straight up. Yeah.
So we only could do 3. It was a group from Texas, great group for retailers, There was another group from Florida, another group that came from the Midwest. So the idea was to bring those guys and then for them to share that experience with the end consumers.
Yeah.
But this is a true story that, back home, you gotta put it this way. I don't wanna walk out of the concept of the stuff that we're talking about, but I'm gonna throw this because this is really important. Nicaraguan cigars nowadays is the hottest stuff up there. Okay? But back in the 80s, Nicaragua was not well known for cigars, especially people that love cigars. It was very well known for the political conflict that was going on in the country,
Right.
The civil war that went through 10 years, and all the nonsense that was going on. So the industry started off in the early 60s with Joya de Nicaragua. Mm-hmm. 2 Cuban guys came from Cuba and they started to manufacture cigars, in Nicaragua, And then after Joya de Nicaragua came Jose Orlando Padron. Then after Jose Orlando Padron came Sisto Plasencia. Then Gilberto Oliva Cigar Company. Then came Johnny Oliva, you know, the guys from Tampa, you know. And then these people were making the move. A lot of after the embargo from Cuba, what you guys were smoking in the 80s was all the cigars that were coming from Dominican Republic, which were great cigars. Still they are, you know. Yeah. So Nicaragua cigars, especially the Nicaragua industry, was the baby step. But then in 1979, the Popular Revolution took place. And then you know, the political party was the Sandinista, went to power, you know. And a lot of things, you know, kind of went out of context. And people that support the revolution, they went against the people that were in power. That was after the revolution. Then the Civil War started. 1990, that was the first time that we have democratic election. That was a lady that won the presidency. Is that the right word to say?
Okay.
All right, everybody. Sometimes my Tony Montana accent doesn't help me, but I'm doing my best. All right.
Good. You're all good.
So yeah, so she won the election. The first time in the country doing democratic election. You know, so. And then people that has invested in the past, because you know you got to think about it this way. You know, a lot of people that invest a lot of money, not just in the tobacco industry, but in many other industries, they were leaving the country.
Right.
Because most of the private sector was getting nationalized by the government. You know, you were in a crisis, economic crisis, so you have to figure out how to survive. You know. So then in the early 90s, a lot of people start to come. And then around 1995, 1996, that's when Jonathan started his kiosk at the World Trade Center in New York City.
That's right.
The guy, when it comes to Jonathan Drew, I won't say this because I work for Drew Estate, but he could be considered to be the Steve Jobs in the cigar industry.
He's one of a kind.
He is one of the kind, bro. And the guy, that guy, he does cigar events all over the United States. He does. He engaged the retailer for sure, but he goes after the crowd.
Oh yeah.
He engaged people. You know, the wealthy thing in life is not how big you can be in life; is how many people you can influence. You see what I'm saying? How many people, how many life you can touch.
And he's done. He was one of the first cigar personalities that I really kind of latched onto.
Okay.
Simply because, when you stand in line for a Jonathan Drew event, and by the time you get up to him, some guys that they go through those lines and they just get fatigued. Mm-hmm. And I know JD gets fatigued too. But when he got to me, you couldn't tell it. And he was engaged with me. He talked with me. It was just like, what's your story? What do? You do videos? Oh, that's pretty cool. And, he started turning it into about me. And I was awesome, like, man. This is freaking so cool. and like I said, that was a 5-hour wait to get up there.
That's right.
And he just kept going the entire dang time.
Absolutely, man. You know, Jonathan, when it comes to engaging people, is absolutely the best. But his heart is the number one, man. Everything that he has done in the industry, he has done it for Nicaragua, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He invests, every penny back in the days before Switcher came to the picture. Every penny that the company was making, he was reinvesting into the company, buying more tobacco, hiring more people, you know. So Jonathan is the one, man, you know. So the idea, the point, what I went through all the way back, because the cigar is not the great time that we're having right now. It's all the strife and struggles that goes before you get this cigar in your hands. So the idea was, after 11 different houses in Esteli, Jonathan and Marvin came out with the idea to buy a piece of land in Esteli and build the biggest premium cigar factory in Nicaragua. And not just make it the biggest, the most beautiful one.
Yeah.
So Subcultural Studio and Jesse was very involved with the project, you know. Jesse and his crew pretty much did the whole. It will be unfair to say the makeup, because it's not a makeup. All the art is handmade from local artists in Esteli.
It's incredible. Yeah. I encourage you all to go on Facebook and not just Jesse's page, but just tour and really get a look at the factory, it's like nothing else I've
Absolutely,
ever seen.
man. It is a beautiful place, man. You know, especially from people that have never left the United States. You know,
Yeah.
they go to overseas, and you know there are some guys that they might go single, you know, and maybe their wife doesn't want to join them. You know, they are missing it out, you know, because we have a very nice accommodation over there. The food is unreal, you know. So a lot of people are concerned that they go and say, hey, man, you know, I'm going to Nicaragua, and people are clueless about how Nicaragua it is. And I say, bro, you know, don't go out of the campus because you're going to get kidnapped, bro. We don't got none of that shit, right? We don't deal with it. Thank God none of that stuff have reached Nicaragua. Nicaragua by far is the most safest country in Latin America. You can do your homework, tourism research, you know, places to go. Obviously, everybody wants to go to the cool spot, but safety is the number one issue, you know. So in Nicaragua, we have been running the Cigar Safari since 2008. Nowadays, Cigar Safari is sold by itself. So at the end of the day, you know, you got a lot of people that retailers and consumers, you know, guys, the media, you know, that goes there, you know. And for us, we love everybody, you know. We show them everybody what's going on. So yeah, so I was doing that since 2008 until 2015. In the middle between 2008 and 2015, you know, we run the Cigar Safari for four to 5 months of the year. Then there are other months back in those days I was helping out in the factory, so I went to Jonathan. I was like, you know what, I would like to have another opportunity in the company. So I said, you know what, man, we all our energy, all our focus is in the United States, but we don't have nobody running the international sales. So I want you to do it. I was like, okay, man, what the hell, bro? You know, you know, when it comes to the tours, I mean, it's not easy, of course, because all the tobacco knowledge, you don't learn it overnight, you know. But to me, it was, I was very familiar doing the tours, and I was like, man, selling cigar, I have to have a training, because, you know, it's not that giving the tour talking about tobacco. You are engaging somebody to try your stuff, especially the person who haven't tried it yet.
Sure. Yeah.
So they say, don't worry about it. We're going to send you to Miami. You're going to have a sales training. I was like, cool. 3 months passed by. They sent me to Miami, and I got a sales training. One of the guys that work in sales, you know, he trained me, and then I remember that before I went to the United States, I watched this movie. So far is the best. I know that you guys know about movie, but this one is my number one. It's called Pursuing the Happiness.
Yes,
with Will Smith.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
So man, I watched that one, bro, and I went to do the training. I was putting my heart and soul, because my family back home, they say, you know what, Pedro, if you don't pass the training, we still love you, you know. The factory, they say, you know, if you don't pass the training, bro, you got a job over here, you know. But me, I was determined enough. If I have come this far, I have to make something out of this.
Yeah.
2 weeks they gave me, bro, and after 2 weeks, boom, they said to me, I was having a meeting with the president of the company. Back in that time was Mike Solucci, and then he said, you know what, Pedro, you are good, this and this and this and this. And then I was like, bro, let me ask you a question. Yes. Do I get the position or no? You know, because sometimes people don't want to be mellow, and then they throw you the bad news, and they say, you know, if I have a computer and a telephone, I will ask you to stay and work for us right now. But Jonathan Drew has other plan for you. And then I got the position. I start to run the international sales for Drew Estate. I open accounts, you know, and when I say I, it's not just me, we, because it's the team, you know, Drew Estate team. You know, one thing is selling cigars, and another thing is a lot of people that are working behind you, making sure that every puff that you have in your cigar is unforgettable, you know. So we open accounts in different countries: Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, Spain. And nowadays we are currently making business with them. Nowadays, Agio Cigar Company, which is the oldest cigar company in Europe, they are doing the distribution for us, you know. Yeah. And then I was running the international sales, doing the Cigar Safari. It was awesome, man. To the point that 2012, that's when Jonathan said, man, you know, all the relationship that you have built through Cigar Safari, you are going to be coming to the United States and working full-time for the company. I could not believe it, man. Feel me? Because, you know, in the factory, the most precious treasure that any cigar factory can have, not just in Nicaragua, in Honduras, and Dominican Republic, is the people.
Right.
Okay. So I was loving it, enjoying it, cigar safari, and everything that I was doing. But when they said to me, bro, you are not gonna be running the international sales. I wasn't traveling in Europe. Everything was going through emails and phone calls. So I was like, sure, all right. So the Jonathan hired a lawyer. They went through my legal status, to get a working visa. I came here in 2013. So he said to me, "You're coming to the United States, but don't fall in love because I still want you in Nicaragua doing this cigar safari tours." So that's when I hired Henry. Henry is doing it right now, the cigar safari tour. Incredible kid. He's from Esteli. Super knowledgeable when it comes to cigars. He has the passion, and whatever it takes to sell not just a cigar, to sell the entire company, Right. So he's doing that, and then 2013 I came aboard. I started to do cigar events all over the United States. A lot of people appreciate, the fact that you are putting up there, traveling like crazy, But to me, it was like, this is not work, because I'm from Esteli. I'm not selling. I'm just sharing something that is made by hands in my hometown.
Well, it's obviously that you don't think of it as work because you never stop.
No, man. We stop until we die. You feel me? And
it's kind of like the way we do with drinking. We
don't stop.
We don't stop, and we drink until we die.
That's right. Life is too short,
Hey, you gotta be passionate
and we
about
only
something.
live once. And then
Do you think maybe JD would give me a job so I can finally ditch these guys?
But we welcome everybody, That's the cool thing about Drew Estate, Every rep that you have met, everybody have their own personality, From guys that nobody dress suit and tie, but everybody got their own approach.
Right.
When it comes to talk to people. You got people that are like, kind of mellow, and they are the best. There are other people that looks like they are like rock star and all the stuff, but at the end of the day, we are working with one mission and one mission only.
I will say that as far as sales reps out in the field go, your team is the most eclectic group. Guys like Fabian and Dave Lafferty and really good guys. We've met several of them, and you're right. They definitely their own styles, but you can tell they love what they do. And
absolutely, man.
It comes across.
Oh yeah, man. The thing is this, it's simple like that, man. You don't have to be a genius to figure out this one out, man. When you take care of your people, the people are gonna take care of your company, and they're gonna see the company if that's their company. You know what I mean? That's a whole different philosophy out there, and that stuff work in every industry, not just tobacco.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's about life. It's about finding something that you love.
Well, it's contagious too in that, Drew Estate has by far the most hardcore, loyal, fans of any cigar company. I would say by leaps and bounds. Some of the stuff these, I think we count, at least like speak for myself. I'm a fanboy. I don't have the Liga tattoos and the the Muwat license plate, but
right.
but it comes across. It's a subculture. It is a subculture in and of itself, Drew Estate.
Absolutely,
and it's a really kind of cool niche in the industry that I immediately, when I started smoking, it just drew me in.
Absolutely, and you know what?
No pun intended.
I want to take the line that you just throw. This is very interesting to say. When it comes to acid, bro, acid has been the biggest hit of Drew Estate. And I will say the biggest hit, and correct me if I'm wrong. You can judge me on this one, but let's say if you can take this fact, the biggest hit for the entire industry, and I will tell you why. A lot of people that see all this, man, why these people are smoking cigars? Of course, nobody want to start off their cigar experience with a strong cigar.
Yeah.
Everybody want to start with a mild to medium. So, acid cigar has been bringing a lot of new smokers into the plate.
And I forget where we were talking about this, but I think it would be safe to say most new smokers, it's probably either an acid blonde or a Macanudo.
That's right.
Just it's a good introductory cigar to get your feet wet.
Absolutely, man. Because you know what, man? If somebody give you like this, me, I enjoy, when I was in Nicaragua, I was just drinking beers, Toña and rum, which is the Flor de Caña. Coming here, and meeting everybody and people share not just cigar but share a little bit of drink, I start to enjoy, like heavy liquor, like bourbon and whiskey. Which if I wouldn't done it like maybe 5 years ago, I would be like, no, this is too much.
Yeah.
But you graduate, your palate graduate. You started from mild to medium, then medium body, medium to full body. Before you know, it's like when it comes to drink, maybe in your college years way back then, you were drinking like light beers, mild beer, maybe vodka and all the stuff. And nowadays you are drinking bourbon and whiskey. Are you gonna go back to the mild stuff? No, because your palate asks you for the good stuff.
Don't you look at me like that.
Oh, this is the guy. This is the bourbon guy.
No. In our college days, we were straight up bourbon. We'd already graduated to that level.
Yeah, these guys make fun of me. I could only afford, when I was in college, I could only afford malt liquor. I don't know if they even have.
What is malt liquor?
Malt liquor. You're a resident beer expert. How would you describe it? It's a very inexpensive lager.
Yes, it is beer.
It is beer.
It is beer, but they basically allow it to ferment a little bit longer.
Oh wow!
It knocks you on your ass. It gets you drunk fast, which is a college kid. That was the most. But they come in 40-ounce bottles.
Okay.
Or if you got a few extra pennies, you get a 64-ounce jug.
Damn.
But anyway, you're saying you don't go back. These guys give me shit all the time because I do go back.
You gotta reminisce, buddy.
4 years of my life. That's all I drank. I like to.
Bro, I got a funny story for you. All right, so people are gonna laugh on this one. When I came here, I was looking for a beer that could be similar to the one that we have in Nicaragua, right? So I was doing my grocery, and I asked a guy that works in the supermarket, bro, give me, I would like to get, a light beer. And he said, sure, try this one. You're gonna like it. I bought the beer. Man, I was digging it big time. So one time, Jonathan invited me to his house for a dinner, and the people that were there, they were talking about fine whiskey, bourbon. For me, they were talking in Chinese. I didn't have no clue. But somehow they touched the beer topic. And I was like, Joe, wait a minute, everybody. I got my number one beer. I just found it. It's the best.
I got this.
Oh, and they say, really? So what is that? It's Old Milwaukee. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. We're internet beer experts.
Holy shit, man. And I was like, man, this is a dude. That's not a beer. Bro, that's my number one. But you know what, bro? That was my introduction.
Right.
Because here in the United States, there are so many beers. But nowadays, my number one beer, guess what it is?
Old Milwaukee.
Nah. Old Milwaukee is in the last picture. It's called Jingling.
Oh, Yingling.
Yeah, you'd love it.
Hey, come by the party tonight at the hotel. We got some.
Oh, my God. You got nothing on you right now?
No, not right
because
now.
We can pump in bottles right now.
we had it in the cooler last night. He just drove through Louisiana because they don't sell.
Oh, nice.
They don't sell it in Texas.
Dude, let me tell you a story how that one came up. I was doing an event in Pennsylvania, I was, working with the crowd on the stuff, and then a guy came, bro, and he said, bro, I love Underground. I was like, cool. And then I started to ask questions, who the person was, and I was like, no, I work in the beer industry. Really? So what is the company that you work for? It's called Jingling. Do you know about it? No, I don't know about it. Well, let me bring you some bottles. He brought it. I look around. He brings the Eagle. He said to me, this is the oldest brewery in the United States. Yeah. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I went back because nowadays I'm based out of Miami, and they got Jingling, bro, and that's my number one right there.
Good stuff.
Oh yeah, bro. The good thing, Black and Tad. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Dude, that one is the best. Yeah. Unfortunately, it only comes in season, Yeah. So it's good stuff. So last year I was in Pennsylvania. I was trying to get a tour at their brewery. We got there at 4:05. And they closed the brewery at 4 p.m. And they said, I'm sorry, we're going to give you the tour. Man, I came all the way from Nicaragua because it's my number one beer. You're full of shit. We don't sell Jingling in Nicaragua. I was like, get the hell out of here, man. I love your stuff. But it was good stuff, man. Beers, cigars, whiskey, bourbon, rye, you name it, moonshine. But it's a lot of people together, bro,
It does. I actually, there's a manufacturer, Robert Holt, Southern Draw, that's here, and we bonded over some moonshine a couple Cats Fest ago. Out, stayed up till dawn, and it brings everybody together. I mean, that's what the Tuesday Night Cigar Club's all about.
Absolutely,
just
man.
Drinking our faces off and having fun.
Absolutely, man. And you know what? One thing that I would like to throw on this one is this. You know, it's great to come to the events like this, have fun, you know, meet people that probably you only have seen them on social media. But today we are celebrating, you know, this is a Memorial Weekend, you know, and one of the cool stuff that Storm is doing, who was the guy that started all this, in the hard-working people behind this festival. The number one cause that we're doing right now is called Cigar For Warriors.
Yep.
I don't know if you are familiar with it, and you can tell the people what's going on.
It's our number one charity. We're big supporters of it. I've been friends with Storm before Cats even. When I first started smoking cigars, he was kind of one of the first guys. We kind of bumped into each other, and then he started Cats, and it's kind of taken off. But yeah, we are huge Cigars For Warriors. No company out there does more than Drew Estate for Cigars For Warriors.
Thank you so much, man.
I mean, that's the proof's in the pudding. I mean, you guys just do a tremendous amount.
Well, but you know what? I will put it like this, man. You know, even though that I'm not from the United States, but this country changed my life. Just for the fact that I came with a education opportunity, not just me, my family, and the people that I have engaged to try Drew Estate cigars. You know, so there is a lot of people that join the Army, the U.S. Force, the Marines, the Navy, you know, the Army. All those people leave everything behind, family, wife, and kid, and they go to still keep, you know, what a free world means. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the greatest country here, bro, is the United States.
Well, you know, and I think it's refreshing. It's a good refresher, you know, to talk to guys and gals like you, Pedro, who I think we take so much for granted as Americans, that when you sit down with somebody who has a completely different view on it, coming from another country, it kind of wakes you up and says, you know, fuckers, you got it good.
Absolutely, man.
And you know, it's good.
Bro, let me tell you something. This country, man, you work hard. You fucking work hard. You're gonna make shit happen. Nobody owns you anything. But you know what, man? Over here, you can apply the concept. The sky is the fucking limit, man. While in other countries, unfortunately, you know, the lack of opportunity is so little, man. And if you don't make it, forget about it, man. Nobody's gonna make it in your family. My family, bro, you know, my dad, he is a plumber, you know, I love him to death. We have a good relationship, you know, everybody makes mistakes, and I think that a lot of people can get familiar with my experience, you know. We grew up with a single mother, you know, and my dad was never around, you know. He made his mistakes, but you know what? In life, in order to be happy, you have to forget and forget. Forget and forget, because life can shine in your face. People can see that you are doing well, but if you still have that bitterness in your heart, you're gonna be the most miserable motherfuckers out there. You feel me? You gotta forgive and forget. And you know what? That's a true story, because at the end of the day, the most important thing that will really keep the balance in life is family. You don't got a family, you don't know who you are. You know where your roots are. So my family is my number one. Absolutely, man.
Absolutely. Good stuff, man. Real good stuff.
Yeah, man.
I want to thank you for sitting down with us. What big things going on with DE this year? Anything we don't know about yet? Anything you can tell us?
Let's talk about business. All right, with Drew Estate, man, we are cooking a lot of stuff in the factory.
Okay.
All right. So we are bringing, you know, the events like this to the next level, you know. We got Jonathan Drew. He is the president, you know. He was, you know, still around in the company after the acquisition from Swisher, you know.
Right.
But nowadays he is in his full. It's 120%. So we are working on a lot of cool stuff for our end consumer, our retailers, you know. We are pumping the factory with good production, you know, not just increasing the production, but keeping the quality, you know, buying more tobacco. I don't know if you know this. Drew Estate doesn't grow tobacco. We buy tobacco, right? We let the growing season to the experts, you know.
Right.
But that put us in a good position, because when you buy, of course, you have to know what you are buying, but you have to buy knowing that that tobacco is gonna play well with new stuff that we are making right now.
Right.
You know? So we got Willie Herrera, you know, who is our master blender, the guy that unleashed the Herrera Esteli
Yeah.
The Norteño, matter of fact, he puts his magic hands in the underground shade.
Yeah.
The one that you're smoking right there, you know. Willie is the man, bro. Willie is the only guy that he's not from Nicaragua that works shoulder to shoulder with the people in the factory.
Awesome.
You know, you can have good tobacco, but if you don't know what to do with it, you are gonna fuck everything up.
Well,
Yeah, and I love the Norteño.
He's a big Norteño fan. I'm not a huge Connecticut fan, but I can't get enough of the shade. It's just such a unique Connecticut smoke.
Absolutely, man, bro. That stuff right there, there's a lot of Connecticut shade wrap it up there, you know. But when it comes to cigars, bro, if the cigar is good in the first place, so what about the second chance? What about the third ground?
Oh yeah.
You feel me?
Consistency.
So consistency is the key, man. How you achieve consistency? That's a line that I'm gonna steal from Jonathan Drew. Consistency, you don't achieve consistency and quality from year to year. You don't achieve consistency and quality from month to month, not from week to week. You achieve consistency day in and day out. We got a good thing working at Drew State Factory, you know. We got what Jonathan Drew started in early 1999 with the factory. You know, it was a small renting house in downtown Esteli.
Yeah.
With 7 people nowadays, we got 2,500 people working full swing, making all the ligas, the underground, the Nica Rustica, the Herrera Esteli, the Acid Cigar, Tabaco Especial, and a little bit of project that we do here and there, like Java that we made for Rocky Patel, Sweet James, you know, that we made from Deadwood Tobacco, you know, in South Dakota. We got a lot of good stuff, man. You know, at the end of the day, you know, when it comes to trying cigars, I truly respect when people said to me, bro, the only thing that I smoke is only Drew Estate. Well, we are not the best in the block. There's a lot of great companies up there. It's like when you go to a party, you know, you get ready, you know, you put your best suit, you know, and you are with the what's his name, the guy from the movie, John Travolta.
Oh, okay.
Fever Night. You
Saturday
put
Night
your
Fever.
white suit, you know. You approach the party at 9 p.m. and at 9:15 you probably have danced maybe 3 songs and you say I had the blast, I'm going home. No, you gotta go out there and try everything else, and then you are gonna be the ultimate judge. That you're gonna determine where you're gonna spend your money, and not just your money, because money comes and goes. Where you're going to invest your time. You feel me? Because by smoking this, you're gonna put, you know, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour, you know. But let me tell you something. When you smoke a cigar in a bad day, that's the best.
Oh yeah.
Because then you can count your blessings.
Well,
you know what I mean?
You guys are good people, and that certainly at least factors into me when I smoke something. As good as a cigar is, if I knew a bunch of assholes made it, I wouldn't pick it up at the store. So you know, D is good folks.
Thank you so much.
I want everyone out there, check out Pedro on Facebook, on Instagram, just see, and then go see him. Go to an event.
Yeah, come to the event, man.
Go to an event. Maybe we'll hit you up at Cigar Safari one of these days, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. It's working.
Well, thank you so much, man. God is good. God bless everybody.
I can't top that. Live from San Antonio, TNCC. We'll catch you later.
Yeah.
I get up and go to work.